So now let's take a look at the internet banking. With the advent of internet, banks enabled to do a lot of transactions through their online portal, online website, which you could use, log in, and then do a lot of banking related transactions. For example, you needn't have to go to the banks to get your passbook updated. You could see your account statement online directly. You could do a bank-to-bank transfers. You could pay your credit card bill. No need to go give a check to the bank. You could pay your online bills as well. A plethora of activities that could be done. All this from the comfort of your home or your office, from your laptops or your desktops. All you had to use was a user ID and a password. You could log on to the website, bank's website, and do all these activities. Some banks, to provide an extra layer of security apart from the user ID and password, used to give a hardware lock, which would give you a key which could be used in conjunction with the website to secure the operations even further. We saw that internet banking helps do bank-to-bank transfer. Let's see what are those two mechanisms available with us. Just like the check, the transfers do happen via the RBI. Let's say you have an account in a bank which has an IFSC code 1, and you have an account which is user account 1, and you want to transfer to your friend who has an account in a bank which has an IFSC code 2 and user account 2. This IFSC code is nothing but Indian Financial System Code, which is a code given by the RBI to the various banks and their branches, and it goes like this. The first 4 letters identifies which bank it is. So maybe for HDFC it is HDFC itself. The 5th digit is always a 0, so an identifier is always a 0, and the next 6 digits are numbers which identify which branch of that bank it is. So overall it's 11-digit code. So when you transfer money from one bank to another through the internet banking, the request from your bank goes to RBI, who then clears it and then deposits into the receiver's account. Okay. The two mechanisms to do the transfers. First is called NEFT, which is the National Electronic Fund Transfer, and the second is the real-time gross settlement, which is called the RTGS. Using NEFT, you can transfer up to 10 lakhs a day. There is no lower limit. You can transfer at any time during the bank working hours, but the RBI will clear the amounts only on the hourly time slots that they have defined. That is from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. There are about 11 time slots where the RBI will clear the transactions. So you are free to book the transfer anytime that you want using your online, but RBI will do it on the hourly basis. So 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. slots, typically the transaction will get completed within the same day. There's a possibility that the 6 and 7 p.m. may get settled on the same day, but there's a high likelihood that it will get settled the next day. So if you're doing a transfer, just keep this in mind. Using the RTGS, there's a lower limit of 2 lakhs and a higher limit of 10 lakhs per day. These limits are mainly meant for retail customers. For commercial and companies, the limits are different. Like name suggests, RTGS settlement is on real time. There's no hourly time slots. The moment the RBI gets a request to do the transaction, they will clear it off. So typically the money gets deposited in the receiver's account by about half an hour or maximum an hour, right? And it's available till 4:30 p.m. Both these options are available only on bank working days. So Sundays is not available. Whenever, or the Saturdays that the banks don't work, it's not available. On national holidays, these are not available. Okay. And you also have to register the receiver. You have to register the receiver's IFSC code and the bank account into the online or the internet banking system that is there with you. Both these conditions have to be done before you can initiate any of the NEFT or the RTGS transfers. So now let's look at the various payment options available for the three categories we defined earlier. For a recurring expenses low value, you still had cash. You could pay your bills through online payment now. You can go to the internet and just register the utility provider and pay his bills directly there. For your lifestyle purchases, you have the credit card, debit cards, as well as the NEFT and RTGS now. And for high value purchases, the lifetime purchases, you have NEFT, RTGS, along with the checks and demand drafts. Though the NEFT and RTGS are more preferable because this is almost instantaneous. On the same day, you can make the transfers. You might use the checks and the demand draft only in very rare cases now. With the advent of smartphones, the complete internet banking was now available on the phone itself. The bank started giving you an app which would reside on your phone, and using this app you can do all the transactions with the bank just like as you could do with the internet banking. So this was a very powerful user experience because now you are not tied down to your work computer or your home computer. You could do your banking right from where you are using your mobile phone and the internet connectivity that it offered. So the various banks had their own apps built for the smartphone. So bank one, like this, in this case HDFC Bank, ING Vysya Bank or the State Bank had their own applications which would reside on the phone, and you could use these if you had an account with these particular banks. These apps wouldn't talk to each other directly. They still had to go through the RBI mechanism using the NEFT and RTGS if you wanted to transfer from one bank to the other. So it is almost like your internet banking, except that it was on your mobile platform. That convenience was there, but the restrictions were just like what you had on the internet banking. So unlike the computer, the mobile phone was always with you. So why not use it for your low value transaction? So with this in mind, RBI came up with an immediate payment service. But to do that, they also set up a National Payment Corporation of India, which is called the NPCI. So using this, all the banks talk to the NPCI, just like they did with the RBI as well. Okay. So let's say you had an account with a particular bank and you had the mobile application for the particular bank in your smartphone, and you wanted to transfer to another person who has his own account with a bank which has a IFSC code too. You could use the mobile app now to do the transfer from your mobile bank, from your mobile app to the other person's account directly using this immediate payment service, which is called IMPS. And this happens instead of through the RBI, it goes to this National Payment Corporation of India, NPCI. What are the advantages of this? The settlement happens within seconds. There is no RBI in between. All these are just a set of computers which are running there. So the servers which are running there. So the settlement happens within seconds. It is a 24/7 service including bank holidays, unlike the NEFT and the RTGS. Because remember, this is meant for your low value transactions. So you don't want to go to a vegetable vendor or a grocery shop and then say, I'll purchase, but my account, your account will get credited next day. That wouldn't work. So it is for this scenario, this NPCI has set up with the IMPS as a payment mechanism. You can transfer up to 2 lakhs per day using IMPS. And payment is for daily use, grocery services, the low value stuff that we talked about before. So instead of using your credit card or your online banking, now you could use your mobile phone to make your payments. With the advent of mobile banking, e-wallets made their presence. Typically, we had a bank from which we could withdraw cash and put it in your wallet. Just in the same way, since you have a mobile application along with you now, you could download money into what is called the e-wallet. E-wallet is nothing but an app, just like a mobile banking app from the bank. These are wallets provided by various companies. Some of them are banks, like in this case HDFC and from PayZapp from HDFC, Pockets from ICICI, and some are private players like Paytm, Freecharge, PayUmoney and others. So you could download money into these e-wallets from your bank account and spend it in a variety of ecosystems that they tie up with. You could, for example, buy things from Amazon or Flipkart. You could book a taxi and pay for it. You can pay your online bills. You can do shopping at a grocery shop and then still pay through any of these pockets. So just treat it like cash, but it is on your mobile phone. And it's a private app or a app provided by the bank. So you have to transfer money from the bank to your wallet or wallet to your bank back again, right? So typically transferring from the bank account to the e-wallet generally carries no charge. They would like you to transfer money to the e-wallet so that you can spend from your e-wallet and they get a commission on the spendings that you do. But the reverse, when you transfer from your e-wallet back into your account, may be charged. You need to read the details carefully, charged or no charge, depending on the wallet and the time period that you're talking about. Okay. Just like the bank applications, these e-wallets also do not talk to each other. So if you load some money, say either in Pockets or Paytm, there's no way you can transfer from Paytm to Pockets or to any other e-wallet for that matter. So this is something again that you need to take note of. You could use the money that you loaded into the e-wallet in the establishments that they have tied up with, or transfer it back to your bank. So now for your spending, apart from the normal methods of payment, for the recurring and recurring expenses that are generally low value, you also have the mobile banking methods of IMPS and e-wallets to pay. So this is an added convenience now. Since you carry the mobile almost everywhere that you go nowadays, this becomes a very convenient factor to pay for your low value expenses. In the next video after this, we will see the UPI method of payment.